I just found out that most people don't know what a Butterbell is. I knew that most people didn't have one, but I thought they at least knew what it was, but apparently that's not true. So this is a Butterbell, and it's one of my favorite things. I've actually had this one since 1992. I had to call in to the Betty Crocker catalog to buy it because this was like the dark ages. So let me show you how to use it. So the first thing you do is you put the butter in the bell part. It can handle up to a stick of butter, or if you're using like European style butter, it's like half of the block. But I use less than that because I don't use soft butter fast enough. I wish I did. I wish I could eat butter all day, but that's another story. Let's see, it's soft enough to push down now. This really takes two hands, so I'm gonna put my camera down and do this right. If you forget about it and it gets like totally soft, especially if it's a really hot day, stick the bell in the fridge for a little while, because if you start with like half melted butter, it's not going to work. It's just going to fall out. There you go. I have pressed it down so that there are no air pockets underneath, and it's nice and flat on the top. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put about inch and a half of water, cold water, into the bottom of the other part. And last, you are just going to take this part, go like that, and the water is going to seal it so that the butter will stay fresh. But since it's out on your counter, it's not going to get hard. It's going to stay nice and spreadable. Almost every time I mention my Butterbell, somebody is like, why don't you just leave your butter out on the counter if you want soft butter? And all I can think of is that their cheap ass butter doesn't go rancid. Like, I tend to use Kerrygold or Plugra, not for everything, but for the soft butter that I'm putting on toast or like making a grilled cheese. Yeah, I use the good stuff. So I don't know, maybe your cheap butter is fine on the counter. Mine isn't. Next, of course, is what happens when you need your soft butter. So all you do is you take this off and you get some soft butter. Look at that. So easy, so awesome. One question I get a lot is, doesn't it make the butter wet? And I mean, butter is mostly fat, so no, like it's not going to soak into the butter and make it wet. Like, it touches the butter, and then as soon as you take the top off, the water falls off. Like, I don't know what to tell you. It's fats and water. Do you remember any science from school? So yeah, it's totally fine. And another question that I get is, what happens if it just falls into the water? And that can happen if it's really hot. You know, there's like a few weeks in the middle of the summer when I can't use the Butterbell. My kitchen is just too hot all the time. So I just don't use it for those few weeks. But otherwise, like if it's just getting too soft and it falls in, once again, the water is not going to mix with the butter, so you can just scoop the butter out, put it back in the bell, flatten it down, and then put it in the fridge for a little while and try again. But, you know, if your kitchen's like 85 degrees, just might not work. But otherwise, for like more than 11 months of the year, this is how I keep my butter. So good.